didn't they troll him on a couple tweets not too long ago, where he
Hey, but
misspelled or
hey,
something?
but Biden can read that. Biden can read that teleprompter real good though.
He's pretty good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
good, real good
we
at reading that
we
teleprompter.
dude, I think we all know. Well, at least people that kind of keep up with it, like us three. I think we all know Biden's
Mm.
not the answer, right? Like
Oh
Biden's
no,
not gonna. He's not gonna solve the issues. He's not gonna be on the progressive side of things, right? But
he's a moderate. He's a moderate Democrat.
yeah, dude,
Yeah.
he's a middle guy for
But
Mhm.
sure.
but
Yeah.
but the thing is with him is now, which my girl AOC, is stirring some shit, causing some noise in the Democratic Party, as she should, because
Dude,
they're basically
she's
trying to say that the liberals were the reason that they lost the seats they lost, but everyone that lost the seat that was in the Democratic Party, they did not endorse Medicare for all. They did not endorse the Green New Deal. They did not endorse any of the liberal legislation that the left side of the DNC uh, is proponents of, and so they lost their seats to Republicans because they were moderate Democrats.
Mhm.
So now it's up to the. They always talk about in politics having a big tent, right? So having a big tent means that you have a lot of people that are included in your demographic, in as far as demographics, as far as socioeconomic status, as far as race, creed, sexual orientation, whatever. So the tent of the DNC right now on the left, the tent has gotten way too big. There's
mm,
way too many. You can't make everyone happy, and eventually the leftists they will pull away. But right now, AOC, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Katie Porter, Talib,
Ion
all of
Mar.
them. Their job now. Yes, exactly. Yeah, their job now is to try to put as much pressure on Biden and Harris to get the legislation that the people want
Mm.
done, because
It's
overwhelmingly majority of the people want those leftist policies, those Medicare for all, Green New Deal, you know.
well, the
And
weird thing
right now,
is, oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. My bad, dude.
oh yeah, but right now it's just up to them to try to push Biden that way, because Biden, like we were talking about, he is a kind of give and take guy, and if they put enough pressure on him, he will negotiate with them.
Mm.
It's a funny thing you bring that up, honestly, because I think for a lot of, young progressives like around the country, it's more of, we want these progressive policies in place and we're trying to support these progressive politicians. But also you have a lot of the DNC fighting back and not giving them the opportunity. Like, we saw Bernie Sanders not get the nomination.
Twice.
So twice, dude. Yeah. So that was a ridiculous thing to me because I felt like Bernie Sanders, he really associated with the times, right? With the progressive side of things. And not everybody's progressive, I understand that. And then there's a lot of conservatives still, but I feel like, there's a lot of money out there and you have so much money just spilling out of everywhere. Like as far as, like the government getting so much money. It's like, dude, you gotta have some social programs to put people back to work, get them
Mm.
into trainings, get them. If you do this, this will contribute back to society in the form of tax, right? If you and I get a better position, we're gonna pay higher taxes because we get into higher brackets. So at the same time, it's like, why wouldn't you want to empower your citizens, right? As far as giving them, we all know that healthcare gives us all longer lives. We pay longer taxes. We pay less in medical costs. But then again, who's behind the medical field, right? Like
Mm.
who's giving the money and who we giving the money to in reality, right?
Yeah. Well, I think
Pharmaceutical companies.
For sure, for sure.
yeah, maybe this stems from the fear of educating the masses. So when it's easier to control somebody who's uneducated than it is to control somebody who isn't.
For sure.
Yeah.
And
Look at
two,
the Trump
like the
supporters.
green. Exactly. The Green New Deal is called the Green New Deal for a reason. It's the Green
Mm,
Deal. The New Deal already happened under
Mm.
Roosevelt. Tennessee Valley Authority, all these other work related programs that helped lift us out of the Great Depression. And you can bet your bottom dollar we've been in the Great Recession. We've lived through a recession where our economic future is not guaranteed. There could be, with the deregulation of Trump wanting to reverse everything Obama ever
The Paris
did.
Agreement.
That included
Oh man.
a lot of stuff, climate change, but also in the banking sector, regulations that were put there to help prevent like the 2008 housing bubble happening over again. And then Trump just said, nah, we don't need any of these regulations, fuck them. Yeah, Obama did it, it's the devil.
We have to move away from that. We have to get into the healing process, I guess you could
Mm.
say, or the after effect of it. I mean, it's gonna linger around for a couple of years though, for sure. And then for us now, it's more like, how do we get a party that represents the people, right? Like the whole aspect of I feel like the freaking Democratic Party has become so weak, dude. Like they become completely not for the people. It's like supposed to be for the working class, the middle class, but they don't represent us the way that we want to be represented, or they don't value the same things we value. And I think that's why we're shifting away from the Democratic Party. And you see some
The
people,
corporate
yeah,
Democrats, the
yeah, for
Nancy
sure.
Pelosi's and Chuck Schumer's.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. So now it's like we're in, we only have a two-party system in the United States. So it's like, do we go with this side where it's like they expect my vote, but they give me nothing? Or do you get this dude that says he might give me a tax break or whatever else he might be promising me, right? So it's like, okay, that BS is done. Like, let's move away from that. I understand that, the presidency is done and we're ready for something new, but it's like, are we going to get something new from the Biden Harris administration? Or are we just going to go back to promises that are not filled and they repeat whatever, that the Democratic Party has been doing, and basically not standing up for the middle class, not providing what we need as far as, Medicare for all. So it's like, okay, where are we going? Because we need to be going somewhere. If not, this Trump thing will happen again.
Yeah, man. Where are we going? Where'd you go? Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
Yeah.
well, where we should be going is the People's Progressive Party, which is the left caucus, basically,
Mhm.
of the DNC, which would be, the main idea behind the People's Progressive Party would be that the midterms 2 years from now, that it would have to be full blown, like, People's Progressive Party candidates are going to have to win seats, and that's the only way that we're going to be able to get a true third party involved, because the leftist Democrats are ready to pull away. AOC, all those people, Bernie, after being fucked over multiple times, they're ready to bail on the DNC. And the DNC is disenfranchising them and basically pushing them off to the side, acting like it's their fault they lost seats, acting like it's their fault for their liberal, policies. And that's what the people want.
I don't think it's liberal policies if you have other countries already doing these things, right? But those countries are also super benefiting from these programs. Like, let's put it on just sheer like happiness, right? You go to a country like Denmark that has literally the happiest people on earth, right? They're considered the happiest, but it's because they have Medicare for all. They have a guaranteed 3 weeks off of work, right? They have a flexible schedule as far as like, you having time for your kids, having a good work-life balance also is included in these type of
They
things.
can
So
take up to a year off
Mm.
yeah, and then you also get the
for
maternal leave.
maternity leave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like, dude, you have to have I could get it that you have to work hard, right? Like everybody wants to work hard for what they want, right? Like we understand that part. Like you want it, go get it type of thing. But at the same time, it's like, okay, dude, once I have it, can I fucking enjoy it? Am I able to enjoy it? Am I able to not worry about my health? Because, I'm one health bill away from going broke and then losing my house, losing my wife, lose whatever, right? Like these things come into perspective and you're just like, come on, man, like there has to be a solution. And if the Democratic Party is not going to give us that, you're like, we have to get another party involved or some other aspect we're able to get some of the policies that we want, right? As far as the progressives coming along.
That's where I think that Obama fucking screwed the pooch. Like Obama, when he first won, right? He had a chance to just slam legislation down the pipe. When Obama first won the presidency, we had the Senate and the House and the presidency.
Mm.
And he wanted to play hold hands and let's, work with the other side of the aisle and all this bullshit. And as soon as the Senate turned Republican on him, what happened?
That
Fucking
was it.
locked that shit in.
Yep.
And
They didn't want to
Obama
do
had
anything.
he had a short time, that 2-year span when he first got elected. If he wanted to, he could have made it to where it would have been impossible for Trump to overturn all the shit he did in 8 years. But he didn't do it because he's used to that party politics bullshit, and we need people that are for us and are down for the cause and are going to ride for us, because Biden and Harris aren't going to do it. They're
I don't think
corporate.
so.
They're corporate. They're corporate lobbyists.
Yeah.
They're paid and bought for by corporate interests. They're not going to make any substantial change.
Yeah.
So where did this leave the people who supported Trump then? Like, what about these people? Do we just leave them dry? Do we try to invite them into the leftist party? How do you convince or
So
bridge this connection to the people who
So
supported this
my
guy?
best idea for Trump supporters, especially in California, is they need to get Devin Nunes to run for governor.
Fudge. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, if Devin Nunes runs for governor, even if he runs,
Rose.
if he gets it, then the Republicans lose their most highest powered seat on the House Intel Committee. Devin Nunes is like the guy. He's the chairman of the House Intel Committee. So if we can get the Republicans to try to put up a good guy like Nunes in California and draw him away from that seat, you lose all that seniority in the House. But
That's true.
Republicans love him. They love him, and they would run him. And then, they hate Newsom. Everybody hates Newsom. I fucking hate Newsom. But that's a way where we can, snake him a little bit, sneaky snake move.
And do you think that having Devin Nunes as the governor will ensure Trump supporters to come to your side, or to see the point of view for AOC, or
I'm in the middle ground?
Oh well, no, that doesn't really matter. That's just whoever's governor doesn't really fucking matter. But that takes him away from the House, and he's
The
a
control.
powerful House controller. Exactly.
I honestly don't think. I think there's a lot to dissect about Trump supporters in the way that they think. Maybe I don't fully understand it. I don't know. I don't know how to grasp it. But I think it's very complex. Like they're either something mentally is going on where they're not maybe fully there. I don't know. I mean, you got the intelligent ones, right? The ones that maybe are more reasonable. But I think it's there's a lot that are like, if you're not for Trump, you're against Trump, and there's no middle ground to that type of thing, right? Or if you don't view what I view, you're against me, and they're not willing to meet you halfway, and that's where the democracy dies, right? Where you're not willing to at least listen or willing to at least come to terms, like just compromise, right? Like democracy is about compromising. So you have to compromise to do anything or to even come to a middle fucking ground. Well, you're never going to do that if one person is like, you're with me or against me. And that's on both sides of the parties. Like that's on all aspects. That's on Democratic, that's on the liberals and everything. It doesn't matter. We have to be able to, talk, and we have to be able to come to terms, because at the end of the day, it's country over parties. So it's like, dude, You want the country to move forward.
No, dude, I'm kind of down for that whole idea. Someone proposed in it, or I heard there was like this idea going around that all the Trump supporters and the Republicans just go to one side of the country,
Mm.
and then all the liberals go to the other side of the country. And then, I told them if the liberals get the West Coast, I'm down for this. I don't have to move. We get Texas, we get Oregon, Washington, we get like Montana, the
Mhm.
Dakotas.
So
That's cool.
you're talking about a giant Jim Crow law.
Yeah, no.
Basically.
So
Yeah.
you just
You were
there'd
all
like
gonna
a
be
5-year.
separate but equal.
Yeah, so there'd be a 5-year span where you move depending, if all the Republicans they like the right so much they can go fuck off on the East Coast. And then so there'd be a 5-year span where all the liberals from the East Coast and all the conservatives from the West Coast would swap places. And then after 5 years, you just put a border, like a 5-mile fucking no man's land down the middle of the country. And then each side just secures their border however they feel best suited.
Mm.
You high?
Yeah.
I am high, but that is an idea that's going around out there. But yeah,
Well, we already kind of have something like that, like on the edges of the United States. It's already all mainly liberals, right? And then in the center is where, the conservative, like that's where they're all at basically. So
if I didn't have to move, I'd be
Yeah.
down for that. We'll run our country our way. You guys run the other country, fucking like Handmaid's Tale or whatever the fuck.
You're essentially talking about the Civil War, bro. So you're
But-
talking about
but
creating
with terms.
but it says north and south. We're going east and west.
yeah,
Yeah, with terms. Just so like preconditioned terms.
don't include us in your damn
Yeah,
policies.
we're
We won't
not
do what we
we're
want
not
to do.
affiliated with this. I don't know.
International theories.
No, I'm talking about like if the country was to divide, right? And then everybody don't involve us in your liberal ideas or don't involve us in your conservative ideas. We are a separate entity within the entity, like
Fuck them. They can go fuck off on the East Coast. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's too extreme, but I think that's where we have to talk. We have to come to terms. We have to negotiate or just freaking compromise, dude. We have to. It's just how
Yeah.
democracy works.
I mean, we're gonna have to reach an olive branch pretty soon, anyways, right?
Yeah, we don't have to do the whole reach around thing, but it's just like you have to work with each other, right? Meet each other somewhat 50-50 or like 70-25 or something here and there, right?
Yeah, we have to be face to face, not reaching around.